day in the life with a grocery haul, food preservation for the freezer, and meal prepping for the week of our one skillet dinners. Plus, some pork chops for the husband. Let's discuss this grocery haul. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Grammy in the Kitchen. So, you know how we do groceries around here. Do the whole internet search, find out who has the better price on certain items, and hit them all. Well, today we only hit 2 grocery stores. We went to Lidl's and we went to Food Lion. And I'm going to show you the grocery haul. And this week, we're actually going to do 5 different one skillet meals. So everything will be cooked in that skillet and have a delicious, healthy, nutrient-dense dinner. But while we were at the store, we went ahead and picked up a few things that we needed that's not part of the grocery haul. I will break it down to what we bought for the meals versus what we bought to have in our pantry. So grab you a cup of coffee, a hot tea, or a beverage of your choice, and let's get this started. Cheers, family. So the husband prefers to have a sugar-free syrup whenever he has like pancakes or waffles or the French toast we make here on this channel. So I didn't have any more in the pantry. So while we were at Lidl's, I went ahead and picked up there. It's a light syrup. The ingredients are not the best, but this is what the husband prefers. So I went ahead and picked up 3 of these. 2 will go in the pantry, 1 will go into the kitchen. These were $2.09 a bottle. And if you bought the name brand, sugar-free or light syrup, they are $3.49 a bottle. So buying the store brand saves us $1.40 for each bottle. We saved $4.20 by buying 3 of the store brand. And the next thing we bought was Lidl's brand of Miracle Whip. I only bought 1 container of this because we want to make sure we like this as well as we like the Miracle Whip. So I only bought 1. And it was a significant savings by buying the store brand. The store brand was $3.27, where the name brand Miracle Whip was $5.99. Now if we like this and we continue to buy this product, that is going to save us $2.79 per jar. I went ahead and got 2 more 3-pound packs of ground turkey. They were $8.89 a piece. 1 of these 3 pounds is going to be for this week's dinner. The other one I'm just going to go ahead and portion into 1-pound size and put it in Ziploc bags and get those in the freezer for future use. So we have 2 of these. 1 is for this week's meal, 1 is for a future meal. I went ahead and picked up Lidl's brand of macaroni. This is a 2-pound bag. I went ahead and got 2 of those. We will be using this in 1 or 2 meals this week. I can't remember how many, but the rest of this will just go in the pantry for a future date. And that is $1.88 for 2 pounds. Very reasonable price for a store brand. One of our recipes is calling for a can of black beans. Lidl's actually had the cheapest of the black beans. Everybody else was 79 to $1.09 a can. This was 75 cents. I got a 3-pack of green peppers, $1.99. I'm only going to need 1 pepper. The other 2 I'm just going to chop up, stick that in a Ziploc bag and stick that in the freezer. We got the mini sweet bell peppers in multicolors. Looks like we have red, orange, and yellow. This is also for another meal this week. And this was $1.99 for 8 ounces. Whatever I don't use, I will chop this up and also put it in a Ziploc bag and stick that in the freezer. I am completely out of fresh onions and frozen onions at the moment. On my next Azure haul, we are going to be getting some onions, but as of right now, I am out of onions. So at Lidl's, I picked up a 3-pound bag of yellow onions, and this was $2.15. We're only going to be using 1, maybe 2 onions, and the cost of the recipe is going to reflect how many onions we're using, not the whole 3 pounds. So that is everything we got from Lidl's, and we spent $38.34. Okay, let me put this away and I'll show you the Food Lion haul. So the husband had 2 requests this week. One, he wants me to do something with pork chops. And I says, we were at Lidl's when he mentioned it. And I says, well, look up, see who has them the cheapest. Because even when we're in the grocery store, it doesn't mean we have to pay that grocery store's price when we can find it cheaper at a different store. Lidl's had pork chops, boneless pork chops, for $4.89 a pound. Then we checked Walmart on the internet, and it said $4.99 a pound. And then we checked Food Lion, and they actually had them at $2.99 a pound. Even though that is still high, it is better than $4.89 or $4.99 a pound. So I picked up 3 packs, and each one of them have, it's like 4 boneless pork chops. I'm not big on pork chops or pork in general, but this is what the husband requested. That's what we're going to do. So they're average about $3 to $4 a pack. And each one of this, I will cook a whole pack at one time because he can have dinner and then lunch the next day. Not a big deal. But at $2.99 a pound compared to $4.99 a pound, I went ahead and got it. He also wanted some breakfast sausage. Food Lion had the Johnsonville maple sausage. Buy one, get one free. They were $5.19 for 12 ounces, but if you bought one, you got one free. So that's 24 ounces for $5.19. Still, in my book, that is high, but what are you going to do? Then another request he had, he wanted some chicken wings. You've seen how we cook chicken wings in here. I will go ahead and parboil them, let them cool, put them in Ziploc bags. That way when the husband or myself want chicken wings, we can take them from the freezer, let them thaw, and then we'll season them, put them in the air fryer, and you have wings in less time than it would take to cook wings from raw. So I picked up a pack of almost 5 pounds of wings. Now they do need to be separated, and you know how we do things around here. We save the tips for when we want to use it for chicken stock. So the tips do not get wasted, and then we'll have 2 pieces from each wing. And it looks like we have 15, so that's 30 pieces of wings for $14.50. They were $2.99 a pound. Again, inflation, but that's the cheapest one we found doing our research. One of the meals we're going to have in our skillet is a sausage dinner. It's going to be sausage and vegetables. So I picked up some mild Italian chicken sausage. There are 5 links in here and total of 12 ounces. and that was $4.79. Another dinner we're going to have this week is with tortillas. So I picked up the store brand of corn tortillas, and this was $2.19 for 12 ounces. The last item we got was 10 cans of cat food for Morty. And that is everything we got from Food Lion. And we ended up spending $54.18. Our savings, because we were able to get the sausage buy one get one free. The pork chops were at a discount. I didn't tell you this. The regular price was $4.49 and we got it at $1.99 a pound. The sausage we saved $5.20. The pork chops we saved $5.20. The Italian sausage was a savings of $1.20. And then there was some savings on some of the cat food. Yeah, there was, because these were 10 for $9.90, but they're ringing up $1.09 a piece. So there was some savings in the cat food. The wings were not on sale, nor were the chips. But our total was $54.18. The sausage, we're going to go ahead and pre-cook the sausage. So I can put those in Ziploc bags, stick them in the freezer, and when the husband wants sausage, all he has to do is either stick them in the microwave or in a pan on the stove or even the air fryer, and he can warm this up and he can have sausage each time he has some French toast or pancakes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this away and show you what I took out of the pantry and the freezer for this week's one skillet meal. So the things we're getting out of the pantry, I wanted to get some more chicken breast because one of the recipes we're making this week calls for chicken breast. Nobody had chicken breast on sale. They were anywhere between $2.79 to $4.99 a pound. I'm not paying that. Now, last week when we did our crock pot meals, I went ahead and picked up a pack of chicken thighs because they were on sale last week. So I picked up a pack of chicken thighs and I stuck those in the freezer by twos. So we actually took out 2 packs of chicken thighs, and that's what we're going to be using this week. And again, the recipe will be priced according to what I paid for and how much I use. The other things we took out of the pantry was 2 cans of diced tomatoes, 1 jar of chicken stock, the egg noodles that we bought last week in any of the crock pot recipes, but we're going to use it this week. Not the whole, what is it, 2 pounds? Oh, 1 pound. We're not going to need this whole 1 pound of egg noodles. We're probably only going to be using half. And one of the crock pot meals we did, we needed 3 pounds of potatoes. So that meant we had 2 pounds left over. We're going to be using those 2 pounds in one of the recipes this week, as well as a bag of home grated Parmesan, home shredded mozzarella, and I took out a 7-ounce tube of cream cheese. We don't need this whole thing for the recipe, but what I'm going to do is I'll just freeze what we don't need for a future recipe, but the price is going to be credited as what we're using. And I went ahead and took a jar of raw cow milk heavy cream out of the freezer. So that's everything we're going to need this week for our 5 nights, 1 skillet dinners. So we went to Lidl's, we went to Food Lion, and we shopped our own pantry and freezer. If we were to add everything together that we are using either store-bought or we already had, or a fraction of an item that you had to purchase from the store. Our whole dinners, if I don't need to add anything to it, is $44.16 for 5 dinners. Not bad for a budget meal. The only thing I am missing that I thought I had in the freezer, but I don't, is cheddar cheese. I have no cheddar cheese at all. So I'm going to have to stop by the store one night this week just to pick up a brick or shredded cheddar cheese for one of those dinners. But that's nor here nor there. It's okay. So that is the grocery haul for this week's dinner. So we're going to go ahead and cook our ground turkey plus the chicken thighs to get a head start on to this week's skillet meals. But I'm also going to do other food preparations. So we're going to go ahead and cook our 2 packages of sausage. We're going to prepare the chicken wings. We're going to chop some of the vegetables and get those in the freezers. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the breakfast sausage. So I have the oven preheating to 375. So it's less messy if you bake any kind of link sausage in a baking dish with some water than it is to try to fry all these on the stovetop. So we just have enough water in here just to coat the bottom of this pan. And then we're going to put this in the oven, and when they start turning brown, we'll flip them. And then all we have to do is just either put them in the air fryer or on a stovetop or even in the oven just to give it color when we're ready to eat these. Okay, one task is down. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the chicken wings. So I have a pan here. We're going to cook the chicken wings in, and I got a bowl right here to put the tips in so we can get those in the freezer. So I just cut the tips off, and then I separate the 2 pieces. All right, let me go ahead and finish all of this, and then we'll move on to our next step for today. So we have all the chicken wings in this pot with some water. And then we're just going to par cook those. As for the tips, they're going to go in the freezer in a freezer bag. This is our second pack of ground turkey. We're going to go ahead and portion it down to 3 pieces because it's a 3-pound pack. So each one's an average of 1 pound. And we're going to put them in Ziploc bags and get these in the freezer for a future use. Okay, our hands have been washed. I like to flatten them out like this so they freeze faster and then thaw faster also. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put these in the freezer in the pantry. So now we know we've got 3 meals of ground turkey in our freezer when we need it. So far we have the breakfast sausage in the oven cooking. We have the chicken wings on top of the stove cooking. And we've got 1 pack of ground turkey divided and in the freezer. So far it's a good day. Went ahead and washed all the vegetables. Now we're going to go ahead and get those chopped up so we can get those in freezer bags and get those in the freezer. So I have a bowl to put the vegetables in and a bowl for the scraps. Now we're going to portion these into individual servings, about a cup. 2 of these I will need this week. The rest will go into the freezer. It looks like I've got 4 recipes right here. So they cost me $1.99 for the 3. So you might as well say each one of these bags is about 50 cents worth of peppers. And now we're going to work on our small, sweet, colored peppers. I'm going to go ahead and de-seed and vein the little sweet peppers. The chicken wing is done. I turned the burner off. I'm going to go ahead and strain it, but you know we save the water from cooking those chickens because that's a head start on our future chicken stock. So once the chicken wings cool off and the broth cools off, I will put those in separate bags, stick those in the freezer. The chicken water will go towards a chicken stock. The chicken wings will be individually served. So that all the husband has to do is take a bag out of the freezer, let it thaw in the refrigerator, and then he can just put some seasoning or barbecue sauce on them and just stick those in the air fryer. So the chicken wings are in the colander in that pot right there, draining and cooling off. And the chicken water is in that bowl to be cooled off. Back to the sweet peppers. And we're just going to chop these up just like we did the green peppers. So these are some jalapeno peppers that I picked out of my pots. Some are red, some are turning red, but I want to go ahead and get these chopped up and get these in the Ziploc bag also for future use. Because I will not be using this many peppers anytime soon. And I will be de-seeding these also. Alright, so I'm going to divide this small little pile into 4s. Don't need a lot of hot peppers with each meal. And I did label those. That way when I pull them out of the freezer, I know I'm grabbing a jalapeno and not just a green pepper. One of these we're going to save for this week. The other 3 are going to go in the freezer bag. So we have green peppers, sweet colored bell peppers, and jalapenos in this reusable freezer bag. Now all this is going to go in the freezer. And the only thing we need to prep to get ready for this week's of skillet dinners is chop up some onions. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. Now we do save our onions in scraps. And that will go into our freezer bag for future stock. This is the reason I liked having chopped onions in the freezer. That way I get all the crying done all at once. Ooh. That was 1 potent onion. This is the bag that has our chicken wings in, our chicken wing tips. We're going to go ahead and add our onion scraps. The chicken wings have cooled off. We're going to go ahead and get those in Ziploc bags and get those in the freezer. Alright, so each bag has got 7. We have 4 bags. That means we have 28, which that pack had 14 wings. Even though they were not on sale when we bought these, it is still cheaper than buying wings from a restaurant. Now we're going to go ahead and package up our pre-cooked sausage. We're going to do 3 in a small baggie. One's going to have 4, but that's okay. We've got 8 packs of 3 sausage going in the freezer, plus the husband already ate 3, so that was 9 servings of breakfast sausage for the $5.20. So in here we have 4 7-count of chicken wings, 7 3-count breakfast sausage, and 1 4-count breakfast sausage. So this is going to go in the freezer for a quick, easy thaw, cook, meal, or snack. Now we're going to go ahead and cook our second pack of the ground turkey so we can be one step ahead of our meals this week. So we're going to brown this ground turkey. I went ahead and took 2 garlic pucks out of the freezer, and then the 2 onions that we chopped up. The ground turkey is cooked. I'm going to go ahead and drain any grease or water. So the drained meat is back in the Dutch oven. Now we're going to go ahead and add our onions. You know, we season in layers. So we're going to go ahead and add some salt and some pepper. Once those onions cook down a little bit, then we will add our garlic. Since we're not using chicken breast for the dinners we're having this week, because I couldn't find any on sale, and we're using the chicken thighs we already had in the freezer, I'm going to go ahead and get them in some water with a little bit of salt and go ahead and poach those so we can go ahead and pull the meat off of the bone, and because all we really want is the meat, not the bone in part. So when I froze these, I put them in 2 per bag because it's just the husband and myself. But because I'm using this for, I think, 2 dinners this week, I'm going to go ahead and cook 2 bags, so a total of 4 thighs. Always wash your hands when you're touching raw meat before you touch anything else. So we're going to add some salt and some pepper. Let's check on our onions. They're not softened yet, so we're going to let this continue cooking. So when you make your meal plan for the week, find common ingredients, such as we're going to have ground meat in several meals, and we can go ahead and pre-cook that so that on a non-busy work day, you can spend a couple hours in the kitchen and get all your vegetables chopped, go ahead and cook any meat that you're going to need for that week. And that way, when it's time to actually assemble the dish, you have most of your prep done, and it takes some stress off. That way, when you come home from work, you can grab one of your bags of whether it's the chicken or the ground meat, and you can assemble your dinner. Ideally, you want to stay within a budget. That is what our goal is. Find things on sale and build our meal plan according to what's on sale, what we have, and what we can get at a reasonable price. That means going to several stores. You have to go to several stores. You cannot be brand loyal in today's economy and buy the highest price because that's your store. You can't have a store. We need to broaden our horizons and check prices of all the stores in our area. I'm not saying drive 50 miles to save 10 cents a pound on some protein. If you pass that store, either to work or taking the kids to school or coming home from work or picking up the kids from school, whatever the case may be, and you find a protein on sale, just get it. Put it in your freezer. That way you've got protein in your freezer at a price that you did not pay full price for. And when times get tough, there's extra protein in your freezer ready for you when you need it. Alright, so we have our chicken thighs over here. We have our ground turkey and onions in this pan. We're going to go ahead and add our garlic pucks. We're going to cook that until it becomes fragrant, until we can smell some garlic. Probably about 5 minutes. The ground meat is done. So I moved the cooked ground turkey, onions, and garlic in this measuring bowl cup so it can cool off quicker. And then we'll put this in Ziploc bags and get this ready for the refrigerator for this week. Still waiting on the chicken thighs to cook so we can go ahead and shred that. Now as for the pork chops, I will be leaving one of these packs of 4 in the refrigerator because I'm going to go ahead and cook those in addition to our 1 skillet meals, just so the husband can have some variety. He likes to make pork chop sandwiches. That's why we get the boneless pork chops. So I'm going to go ahead and cook these the way we traditionally cook them. And the other 2 packs will just go into the freezer for future use. Who remembers the Shake and Bake? It's a brand called Shake and Bake that has all your seasons and herbs. You drop your protein in it, you shake it, and you bake it. I remember that. But we're going to make a homemade Shake and Bake. Not following any recipes, just throwing it all together. So we can do a Shake and Bake for these pork chops. So this is our no-cost breadcrumbs. I do have videos on that. If I can find it, I'll put a link right there and show you. But it's just bread ends that we toasted in the oven, put it through the food processor, and grind it up. That's all it is. So I'm going to put about a cup of plain breadcrumbs in this Ziploc bag. We're going to add a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 whole teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of crushed red peppers. You can make the crushed red peppers, less if you want, or you can just leave it out. It doesn't matter. Cook however your family likes. I do have the oven preheating for 350 degrees. We're going to add our pork chops in here. And now we're going to give it a good shake and make sure the breadcrumbs and the seasons adhere to all sides of that pork chop. I'm just take a handful and I'm just going to sprinkle some right on top because I do want them extra breadcrumby. And the secret ingredient is honey. We're just going to drizzle some honey right on the top. It's probably about, I don't know, a half tablespoon, quarter of a tablespoon on each one. And we're going to put these in the oven till they start to get brown. Then we're going to flip them, put a little bit more of the breadcrumbs on top of that, and add some more honey. The chicken thighs are done. I'm going to strain that through a colander inside of the chicken water that our wings were cooked in. And then we're just going to let this cool off until we can handle it. Thinking back, instead of opening a jar of chicken stock that we're going to need this week, I think I'm just going to save this and use this another day. Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with this chicken stock. It's just chicken cooked in water, chicken stock. All right, I'm putting this back in the refrigerator until it cools off and we can handle this. Okay, so today, what do we get done? We got our chicken wings cooked, portioned, and in the freezer. We have our breakfast sausage cooked, portioned, in the freezer. We went ahead and chopped up our green peppers, our sweet colored bell peppers, and our homegrown jalapenos. Got those in Ziploc bags. Some we have in the refrigerator for this week's meal. The rest of that is also in the freezer. Went ahead and cooked our ground meat for the meals that we're going to need this week. We have our chicken thighs cooked. We have let those cool off a bit so that we can handle those and get those portioned. We also cooked the husband's pork chops in the recipe that he likes. Went ahead and portioned off the extra pack of ground turkey into 3 different 1-pound bags. We have that in the freezer. So far, this is a really good day. And we do not have any more pizzas in the freezer. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get started on some dough. Probably not going to make the pizzas today. I'll probably do those either tomorrow or the next day. But you know how we do it. We put them in the refrigerator, let them rise. And as long as we use it within 2 days or 48 hours, they're good. We're going to go ahead and get started on some pizza dough. Sorry about the noise in the background. The KitchenAid is mixing my pizza dough. So we're going to flip the pork chops, spend 20 minutes. You know they're not done. We're going to have a little bit more seasoned breadcrumb right on the top. And some more honey on this side. back in the oven. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, now we're going to divide this into fours. Each one of these will make one pizza. Just eyeballing, make sure we're pretty even. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to, this is going to be the top side. This is going to be the bottom side. So we're pulling and pinching, turning it quarter turn, pull, pinch, pull, pinch, until we get a nice smooth edge on the front side. Then we're going to bring all the raw edges together, pinch it, and push it in. And we're going to do that to all four pieces. We'll flatten it out just a bit. Now I use just room temperature water because I don't want these to rise too fast, because it's going to be either tomorrow or the next day before we get to these. So I have my freezer saved oil pizza bags. And I keep these in the freezer just so they don't go rancid. And after we make these pizzas, the bags will go back into the freezer until we need it again. That way we're not wasting bags or oil every time we need to make pizzas. All right, now these are going to go in the refrigerator until we're ready to make our pizzas. Now we're going to go ahead and start working on our chicken thighs and get those ready to get in Ziploc bags for this week's dinners also. Now the breadcrumbs that we seasoned and shook the pork chops in, we cannot save this as regular breadcrumbs because it came cross-contaminated with raw meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label for pork chops. And then I'll stick those in the freezer. And you know, we still have 2 more packages of the boneless pork chops in our freezer right now. The next time I need to bread pork chops, I could just pull this out, add whatever we need to it, and then we have breading that's not going to go to waste. All right, so that's going to go in the freezer. All right, now we're going to work on the chicken meat. So we're not going to save the skins. And we just want to get as much of this meat off so we're not wasting anything. It's not completely done, but that's okay because we're going to continue to cook this in each of our skillet dinners. At least we have a head start. Now if you can find chicken breasts on sale, go ahead and get that. But chicken thighs is what we had on hand. Chicken thighs is what we're using. So that is our chopped up, partially cooked chicken thighs. So the bag with our wing tips and our onion scraps, we're going to put our thigh bones in here. The chicken skins, I'm just going to throw that in the trash. Back in the freezer. I am out of my quart size freezer bags. I need to buy some more. This is just a sandwich bag. But I'm going to put all of our chicken meat in here. Make sure we clean up any chicken juice off of this countertop. We're going to put this in the refrigerator. Now we're going to go ahead and portion our cooked ground turkey with the onions and garlic into 3 bags. So this is the meat for the whole entire week. We have 3 packs of cooked ground turkey with onions and garlic. We have our partially cooked chicken thighs deboned. And then we have our chicken Italian sausage. So this is going to be 5 different skillet meals this week. And if you're not going to be using your cooked or partial cooked meat within 5 days, stick it in the freezer. That way they're ready for you when you're ready. But we're actually going to have skillet meals all week. So this will be used before 5 days is up. So, because they're going to be used within 5 days, this is going to go in the refrigerator. The breadcrumbs that we use for the pork chops is going to go in the freezer. I do have it labeled. Our pizza dough is in the refrigerator doing its rise. We're waiting on the pork chops. Other than that, we are done for the day. But now it's my favorite job. Dishes. Let me go ahead and knock that out. The pork chops are done. They are reading 180 degrees. They are hot. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer the parchment paper and the pork chops to this plate. You see that? The honey just melted all over those breadcrumbs. Oh, looks so good. Can't wait to the cool off so I can put them in a container so the husband can have pork chops when he wants it. And if you look right over here, you'll see 2 videos. If you want to know my cooking style and why I cook the way I cook, these videos right here will give you some insight on how I do things. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family.